Hello and welcome to Flashback, the games you loved, the stories you forgot. This is episode 11, and this week we're in April 2014. And it's RGT, and I am joined by the console connoisseur, the handheld hero, the sir of the simulation game. It is UCP George. How you doing, George?
I am well. Struggling to live up to the preambles, if I'm honest. 11 episodes in, you set me up as a console connoisseur. I'm the sort of guy that until very recently probably treated his limited edition Mega Drive like an ashtray.
Oh, no way would you ever do that. You're the man who buys a game and strips it down and cleans it back to front.
Uses Snatcher as a coaster.
Oof.
Because it's just a game.
There'll be some comments now. Do you know how much that's worth? I can assure he's joking.
That's why I use it as a coaster. No, I'm good, mate. Glad to be here. This is a little sort of far forward for Flashback. I have to say that I didn't realise this was retro. But here we find ourselves.
We've never claimed to be retro. We're just saying we have a flashback into gaming history. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's half the listeners walk out the door. You better strike your arm up at a 45-degree angle to the flag of retro. That's we're done. Your name's Retro Gamer Timmy anyway. What the hell do you think?
So is 12 years ago then not classed as retro then, or?
Well, I was just clarifying. I'm saying yes. I guess it kind of is. Time flies when you're playing games and having fun, but it just seems too soon. But here we are.
Oh, well, that's the show ruined anyway. So great intro. Right, we'll crack on with
This is Flashback. We're an equal playing field here. I don't think I've ruined the show. I've just sort of been a little bit honest.
No, but anyway, this is, like I say...
Sure, everyone's thinking that.
Great. This is April 2014.
Not in a bad way, mate. Just
sorry if
we're
you've
all
all
getting a bit
switched it
old.
off because it's not retro. But
no, they're going, oh my God, I didn't realise how old I was, I think is where we're going with this.
And we were saying this is weird as well because that was that crossover period, weren't it, between the
We did
PS3,
a flashback
PS4.
episode, recently where it was a crossover between Super Nintendo and then into the sort of fledgling era of the Saturn and the PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
And this feels very similar, and you know, it's only when you're in these, I say early days, but I don't think we're in the early days of the current gen anymore, but this is early days of a gen, and you certainly start to see maybe games that are on the console you may have traded that you're like, oh, I kind of wish I hadn't done that so soon because I've got this one game for my new machine, and feel like I'm missing my library, and
They're still releasing
right
bangers
choice?
for the system you've just traded
Still
in.
releasing bangers and because of some new architecture, I can't even play those games on this thing anymore. So I'm a bit sort of hemmed in now. I don't know.
And
what
also,
to do.
because it's the new systems in its early days, it still looks very similar to the system that you've just traded in with all the games to buy this system with one. So,
and if you're being honest, on some days, this new tech probably doesn't look as good as the last best tech that you had. So you're a little bit nervous Dad's going to come in and be like, yeah, bloody last system was way better than this. I don't know why my dad's from Yorkshire, but hear me out.
yeah, I was a bit confused.
Hey, last system was way better than this. Look at that. Look at those graphics, son. You're like, oh, Dad, sorry about that, old bean. Yeah.
I think I've been had.
Yeah, you've been had. Let's get back now, Woolworths.
Yeah.
PS4, more like PS no more. Get it gone. Get bent.
But yeah, it was that weird crossover period. So there's
very much.
Yeah, still been released for the technically last gen, but still getting the newish sort of games coming out for the current gen. But
yeah, and then those weird crossover games as well that are kind of running on the machine you just traded, but you didn't buy your new machine to play a game that you could have played on your old one. So
yeah, very true. Well, I remember when I got the PS4 and for the second time, then bought GTA 5 again to play through, and I thought,
could have been Assassin's Creed 4, to be fair. So you should thank your lucky stars.
Exactly. But yeah, like I say, this is episode 11, so it's April 2014. Like I say, interesting time in gaming. But let's have a look at what we we would have or could have been playing in this sort of era. This is most of these games are from the March in 2014, so we'd already had these hopefully running on our systems. There's a few here. First one I'm gonna pick out is Safe Park Stick of Truth, as we're currently been playing a Safe Park game on over on our other channel, UCP. We do a Gen 7 playthrough.
Yes.
Um, and it was, I'm sure it was Stick of Truth, and I played it on
It
PS3.
was. Yeah.
Um, and what I've thought about this game, I've never really been into sort of turn-based or Safe Park. I think, I'd say I was a casual viewer of Safe Park. I wouldn't go out my way to watch it, but the game was really good. We commented a bit about it on the UCP, our other show, Unofficial Controller podcast. I thought it was very similar. It was just like playing the show itself. Graphically, it looked just like you would literally play in an episode. It was, it's Safe Park humor, but it's funny. It's gross in places, and you could do childish things, but that's what Safe Park was about. But actually, underneath was quite a good, solid RPG with turn-based elements. You have to have that. I know it's not on the same level. I'm thinking of like the modern game of Expedition 33, where you have to have that quick reflexes. Where you
That's
have to,
exactly what I was going to say. It
yeah,
is like that, though. I mean, you get that sort of damage multiplier in this if you nail the button at the right time.
mm,
You don't have to, do you? Let's be honest to the listeners or the viewers, which way they are.
mm,
But it makes a difference. Like you can grind through it, but it's going to take you a long time if you don't.
mm,
I agree with you. I think the sort of battle system in this, it sticks. It's not a straight JRPG. It kind of has that more sort of we want to make sure you're watching kind of vibe to it, doesn't it? That sort of battle
yeah,
mechanic where it's like don't take your eye off the screen.
mm,
Animation's great, as you say. I think South Park's rather stilted animation style means that PS3 was probably this got a PS4 release as well and on Xbox Series consoles, but it's it is about the peak of when the crossover between the cartoon and the graphics were able to replicate each other seamlessly. I think
yeah,
the way you maybe in this one, the way you kind of move around the town, could be improved. It's very side on, isn't it, when you're going from house to house, which
mm,
is kind of like the show, but I feel like it's maybe the game feels like it lets itself down there a little bit. Like there feels like could be maybe just one more dimension to enable a bit more of enjoyment of
yeah.
the
It's almost that
environment.
single screen, and that you sort of go and then click to the next screen,
It's
sort of thing.
very sort of Treasure Island Dizzy in that regard, in a
Mm,
way, if you know what I mean,
no,
if that makes
definitely.
sense to anyone listening. I'm sure at least one person just sat up and went, Treasure Island Dizzy. Bloody hell, this old boy's done a paper round. Um, but no, I think South Park Stick of Truth is certainly one that people should check out. One thing a note that I think it's infamous for now is the difficulty slider, depending on the skin tone that you pick. Obviously, a darker skinned gentleman's going to be the
Mm,
harder level, and the whiter skinned gentleman is the easy level, which bit of social commentary in the
mm.
character select screen. But yeah, I think there's lots of that South Park humor in there, lots to be enjoyed, and I think
And
fans of the
also,
show.
I might be wrong, but I think because of, like you say, because of how the graphic style is, you're not pushing the system with light and an HD and high res, anything like that. So they probably got away with one a bit by porting it to the PS4 because it's literally probably just the same game, just on a PS4 disc, I would imagine, because you haven't really got to improve the graphics or anything because it's a safe part. So,
Yeah, no, I completely agree, and I don't think there really was much difference at all from memory. Maybe a little bit some sort of weird texture thing. If Digital Foundry rocked up now, they'd be like, "How dare you, boys? Zoom in, count the pixels. You don't know what you're talking about." Well, you know what? To the layman, is fine.
mm,
And I think, as we said, it's the art style where you can get away with blue murder. Let's face it. What
mm.
other games were you going to pick out from here, RGT?
Um, Probably what also came out on the 11th of March. Not a game that I have really got into any of these games because they scare me, not on a physical level, but on a difficulty level, and that is Dark Souls 2 came out on the 11th of March. Now, I know
Mmm.
you've
Proper bigger
dabbled with
boys
the
game.
Souls and you've dabbled with a bit of the Bloodborne.
I think
Um,
Bloodborne was always a bit more my cup of tea. I've dabbled with Demon Souls on PS3.
mm,
Um, had an attempt at it on PS5. Probably got, most satisfaction out of it on PS3. But Dark Souls is the multi-format version. Obviously, they did Demon Souls specifically for PlayStation, then brought out the
mm,
Dark Souls franchise. This is a second iteration, more of the same. I'd say slight improvements on the graphics. Again, it's one of those games. If you've got the patience for it, so rewarding. I think sometimes with these from software games as well, and this is what really clicked for me in Bloodborne, because I think the gameplay loop's just a little bit more obvious and staring you in the face, and dare I say it, and probably a little bit more dumbed down for the main, a little bit,
mm.
more dumb, a very small bit dumbed down for the mainstream audience, because I, enjoyed Bloodborne, but Dark Souls, Demon Souls, you just got to have the patience to find the gameplay loop. Once you find that and you kind of reveal the mechanisms of the parry and the block and all that sort of good stuff, you're in for a. We did an episode on it. I can't remember which way it was. It was about how to play a From Software game, and
Yeah.
basically you can break it right down. That was on the obviously on the main show on Official Controller Podcast. Search your podcast or YouTube's, it'll come up. And you basically just got to treat it like an Excel spreadsheet at that point. And I don't know, like the joy then does dissipate, but I do see why people would get the joy from like structurally breaking this game down. Um, Very rewarding, to be fair, when you get it right and everything flows. I don't know if you've got any From Software experience, RGT,
Not
but
really, no.
it's to me the window of operation for me to be able to feel like I'm doing well at Dark Souls kind of takes me back to the kind of maybe a euphemism that I would use for a Formula One car. Like you can't just rock up in a Formula One car and just blast around the track the minute you get out the truck. You got to warm it up,
Mm,
and then it's really only operable for that 2 hour race window, and then it's pretty much in the bin.
mm,
And I feel like I rock up, takes me probably a good couple of hours to get myself zoned in for a From Software game. I've got the routines down, I've got the block, I've got the yeah, I know what I'm doing. And then I've got this sort of 2 hour window of operation before then my skill fade kicks in and I'm just in the bin. So
mm.
mileage may vary. So 6 hours effort to move forward about 2 hours, I would say, is my From Software experience. And
Yeah.
and that does have enjoyment, but it does involve obviously retreading a lot of. I mean, someone like you, RGT, you're a bit of a retro gamer. You've grown up more than me because I didn't get a console until I was, in my later teens. But on the just have one more go kind of arcade mentality. And I
Mm.
think that is really what the From Software games have got. They're like your modern day Castlevanias. It's like, right, died, okay, the level starts again.
That's actually a great comparison. A
Here
modern
comes the
day
bat, boop,
Castlevania,
boop,
yeah.
done, boop, boop, done. Here comes the guy around the corner, block, block, boom, boom, done. Next, dun, dun, done. Right, okay,
Mm,
I'm at this now save spot, boom, sorted, move forward. And it's learned the pattern. Basically, I don't want to dumb it down too much, but it's like, here comes this guy. Move back, make him towards me. Bam, bam, block, block, bam, damn. It's very obviously you've still got to be a very skillful player. I'm not denying that. In
mm.
fact, it's very obvious you've got to be absolutely perfect with those games. But it is basic. Now, sometimes the game throws in a curveball, like two guys come round the corner because they've just sort of like grouped up each other on each other as they've come round the corner, or the groups got broken up. That used to happen to me in Bloodborne a lot. I'd be like, right, here comes the first guy. Oh, damn, it's two of them. Panic. I mean, you're perfectly capable, especially in the early stages, of just waltzing through them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I've probably spoken enough about that, mate. Have you ever played any of them, and if so, which one?
No, I haven't. I have Bloodborne for the PS4, and I know you got into it a few years ago when we were
Thoroughly
talking,
recommend if you were
and I
ever going
was
to
very
start anywhere,
tempted
it's there.
to have a go, and I watched a few
Looks good.
YouTubers do play. Yeah, it does look stunning. Some of them developers on the PS4 did, especially first couple of years in done really well. Do you know what I mean? Like the Order 1886 and
Yeah, I
Bloodborne,
think
they
that
had that
one
great
they had a
aesthetics.
bit of special sauce, didn't they? A little bit like at this latest state of play as of what are we, February 2026, depending on when and where and how you're listening to this. We had Kenner had obviously partnered up this time round. Ember
Mm,
Labs had partnered up with PlayStation Studios, and I think once you get them on board or they decide to bring you in a little bit for a project, the secret sauce opens right up. And I think Bloodborne benefited from that sort of secret sauce coming out within the PlayStation
yeah.
Studio catalog that kind of made it. There was just something a little bit more about that game for
Mm,
me. A lot going on the screen, a lot busier than they normally are. Interesting vistas and a very unique setting
mm,
and then choice of style of within that really. So, yeah, it's
yeah.
cool. Not that
Um,
we're here to talk about Blood Bowl.
no. Um, Interesting though. Another game I'd completely forgot. I played this game. I completed this game. I started it in multiplayer, and my friend couldn't make it for the rest of the game, and we went a few weeks without playing, so I finished it on my own. And this came out on the PS4 in the March 2014, and that is Dead Nation Apocalypse Edition. And I don't know if you ever
Mm,
played Dead Nation. It
no, I
was,
don't think I've played. Is that a top-down
yeah, sort of nice.
shooter game, like a
Yeah,
zombies isometric?
yeah, it's got that sort of, it's an isometric sort of
Is it like hordes that you're
apocalyptic.
blasting through?
Yeah, and you work your way through collecting things and bosses and bits and pieces.
Was this on
Great.
Vita?
I think this did come on Vita as well. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
you
it was
could
one
play
of
this on.
those kind of super secret source PS4 Vita sort of
Mm,
power early days powerhouses,
yeah,
wasn't it? When they're still
yeah,
trying to
and we
care
had
about what the Vita was doing.
yeah, we had great fun with this. Really good game. Like I said, I completely forgot about it till I saw the title and had to Google it and thought,
Who made it?
oh, now you're asking a question.
I've got a feeling you'll be surprised. Is it not the people that make Returnal?
Oh, what Housemarque?
Might be.
Let me have a look while we're chatting. Yeah, but this was like I say, it's that top-down, almost sort of Diablo-looking game. A bit like Lara Croft, Temple of Osiris. Um, but it was something about it. I think
Not
I
House. Yeah, keep going. I think when you see the name, you'll be like, oh, of course. You see all their other games, you'll be like, oh, damn it, yeah.
no, it was Housemarque.
There you go.
I never knew that. That I never knew that. See, that's why
Sometimes
you're
I
on here.
surprise myself. I ain't
You're
used Google,
well,
but there's something in the scratch of the back of the brain that
no,
said, hang on a minute.
that's the whole reason you're here. You see, you're the gaming guru. Um,
I can't remember the pin to my own bank card, but I tell you what,
you knew
I could,
Housemarque made Dead Nation in 2014.
kind of had a wild stab at it. It'd be someone decent to bring to a pub quiz, but there'll be lots of maybes and don't knows.
But that's a really good game. If you like them sort of isometric top-down RPG-ish sort of games, they were great fun. Upgraded weapons as you go along, get a
Hmm.
wider shot on that. Really good. And I've got even come out. This is obviously another one which was a digital early game on the new gen. But yeah, that was a very, very addictive game as well. Not too long as well. One of them ones you can play through fairly quickly. Bit of a challenge there with bosses, but doable. Not ridiculous. Another one on here which I've never played and everyone keeps recommending to me to play. I don't think you've played it either. Is Titanfall. Now,
No, I don't know if Titanfall's the one with the single player element to it, or whether that actually came in
it's like
Titanfall
mechs, isn't it?
2.
I think.
It is mechs, yeah,
Yeah.
and I think Titanfall 1 didn't have it's one or the other way round. I think Titanfall 2 did have the story component in it, and it was, much lauded to be very good, but I think a few people have played it. Titanfall 1, I think, was solely online from memory. I could be wrong, so message into questions at
Ah,
unofficialcontrollerpodcast.com
okay. So it's more
or
like a shooter, sort of online
just like a
shooter, is it?
straight ass shooter, and I think people wanted a little bit of story, which is why that element came in too.
Ah,
And I
that makes
think it was
sense.
a well received. I think there was,
That must
I
be
don't
two
know,
people recommend to me then, I reckon.
maybe because I mean, I guess the servers are maybe still on for these games. It's only 10 years ago. I mean, I've been trying to get on servers for games much older than this recently, and I mean they're on, but no one's playing them.
Mm,
So good luck with Titanfall.
Yeah, yeah, it might have to be number two, I get. We also had out 18th of March, Metal Gear Solid 5. Now, I've never played Metal Gear Solid 5.
Is it Metal Gear Solid 5 or is it Ground Zeroes, which is like the prequel, like mini
Ah,
mini
is that,
demo?
oh, is that like in between 4 leading into 5? And they done that
It's
sort of
kind of
demo.
like basically more as a precursor to 5, but I think it's set, sometime before the game of. I can't quite remember. It's been a while since I played it. But one thing I did
Ah,
remember about Ground Zeroes is it's quite a self-contained, fun little
'cause they
experience.
released a
If
physical as well, didn't they, of this, I
Yeah,
think?
yeah, oh
Yeah.
yeah, it was a fully paid up sort of here while you wait sort of job. And there's lots of classic Hideo Kojima sort of Easter eggs in there. It rewards multiple playthroughs. If you want just like a small slice, a very quick to action Metal Gear, where you can get to learn the environment very quickly and where people will be and what they're doing, and yeah, there's a lot going on there.
Mm,
I enjoyed it. Obviously, there's lots of little canon bits in there that bleed through and connect as a connective tissue between all the Metal Gear games. Um, yeah, I mean, I've played it on PS3. I think there's a version of it even on PS4, at least probably these days in one of the complete editions of 5, I'd guess. But yeah, worth looking out. Super cheap, I think, from memory on somewhere like CEX RGT. I can't imagine
mm,
this running you much more than sort of if it was more than £4, I'd be a little bit shocked.
mm. Was it very long or?
Again, like I say, if you've ever played I don't think it came on magazines, but certainly came on Zone of the Enders. There was Zone of the Enders 1, I think it was. There was a demo disc that really what most people bought this for, and Zone of the Enders ended up being the bonus. So you bought a Metal Gear Solid bonus disc and then got Zone of the Enders the full game as a treat. And OG had this, aka Original Tom over on the main show. OG had this, and we were talking about it not that long ago. This sort of tanker disc, as it was known, you really only got to play on an oil tanker, but it didn't matter because
Mm,
it was some of the most rewarding, most open gameplay you could possibly imagine. And in my mind, this was like the modern kind of stab at it, really, letting you see the new sort of HD engine, understand how it worked, let you
mm,
have a go, give you a load of freedom, maybe gather a little bit of player feedback for that little bit of finesse of the main game.
mm,
Let's face it, everything's connected. Even in this era, everything was connected. So you might as well harvest player data, retention numbers, bits and bobs, what people get stuck on, what they don't.
mm.
So yeah, I mean, if you've never played this and you've never played 5, I mean, yeah, dip your toe in the water with this. It would be quite the rewarding experience
I
even now.
think I think I'm pretty sure I've got this physical on PS4 because it was just
You would have.
cheap. It was like £1 or £2, something
Yeah.
ridiculous a few years ago. I'm not saying it is now. But
I've got it on PS4 and 3, maybe. As you say, it's that cheap, you just sort of grab it.
mm,
I think I've majoritively played it on, yeah, because I've got like a special edition of 5, and I think might have come in it.
okay.
Either which way, I've also got it on PS3. I think I've probably pejoratively played it on PS3.
Mm,
You can tell it is a late stage. You can tell the PS3 is like, oh, hold up. You know
yeah,
I'm old, don't you? Because
yeah.
this is a, it's a bit of a shift. This is, yeah, all right. Don't worry. I didn't load that area in. Just boom, sorted that now. Don't you? Don't you?
You got
Just
four fans all aimed at your PS3 pouring
Yeah,
Red Bull
don't
in the
forgive the
top.
shimmering, forgive the shimmering, forgive the shimmering.
Yeah.
I'm old.
Yeah, you are in the woods. I just haven't put the woods in yet. Just wait. There you go. There's a
Oh,
tree.
it's
Yeah,
which switcher is it? Oh
yeah.
God.
And switcher.
It's not that egregious. It's not that egregious, but you can certainly tell when you play it on newer hardware. You're like, oh,
Mm,
okay, this is maybe more what I had in mind.
yeah, definitely. One here that is I want to know your opinion of because I'm currently nearly at the end of the first game, as this being the third. Infamous Second Son. Came out on the 21st of March 2014. Now
Ah, yeah.
I'm playing the first one at the moment. I've got about 7 missions left, and I've completed the first one as I'm a newbie to
Pay
Infamous.
attention to the story. Pay attention to the story because I want to talk to you about the story because it's
Mm.
mate. Wow.
Mm. The Just quickly go into Infamous for a minute. You always said to me, "Oh, you got to play it. You got to play it." I've now played it, and it is very good. It is
What, you
very,
finished
very
one now or not?
nearly. I'm
No,
seven
right.
missions,
Sorry.
seven missions,
Yeah.
but it's
Okay. Yeah.
so far very, very good. I was a bit dubious at the start because of the title screens and that look a bit basic, but once you're in the game, it's a great game. But anyway, we're talking about Infamous Second Son. I take it you have played this.
Yes, I have. I never found it to kind of grip me the way the first two did. I will
Hmm.
warn you. I don't. Have
Yep.
you not played this? I thought you'd played this.
I tried it, but I stopped. I played it right early days in the PS4. I
Bloody
played,
hell! If Daddy had walked in when you were playing that, he would have been like, "Bloody hell, boy! I thought you were going out to buy the PS4, not the PS10."
yeah, yeah. But I stopped because I hadn't played the other two, so I wanted to play them first. And it's only took me
Something I'd
12
do.
years. So it's only took me 12 years to get round to playing the first
Yeah,
one.
exactly. You never get anything achieved like that. Welcome to my
No,
pain.
no.
Look,
So
graphically, it's great. You never get bored of the smoke powers in Infamous Second Son, and I think you know graphically, that effect still looks really good. It's a cheap one to do, don't get me wrong, in
mm,
terms of graphical horsepower, but the way that it's been executed is definitely very cool. Um, I just never felt like I bonded with the character. In Infamous 1 and Infamous 2, I felt pushed along by the character and the story. Less, definitely so in 1, lesser in 2, I have to admit. Although 2 doesn't overstay its welcome, you're kind of in and out, and that's okay. Totally new environment, by the way, so well worth checking out if you're close to finishing 1. I would have a UCP patented palate cleanser though in between because
yeah, I will be. Yeah,
it
yeah,
would be a bit much.
yeah.
And Second Son is on paper everything you want it to be. Now, I think on the main show, I've said to you and Seb recently, the weird thing about sequels is they never can quite get it right for certain players. In my mind, a game is X. The way I played it, it became Y. You know, you kind of write the story in your head about what the game's going to be that the developer never gets privy to, and then when the second game
Mm,
comes out, it's completely the wrong end of the stick of what you might be wanting.
mm.
Infamous Second Son smashes the graphics, smashes the gameplay. I'm even going to chuck that out there. So it's like, hang on, George. You talk about a video game podcast, you talk about a game smashing all these metrics, and then you say you don't like it. It's about time you quit. But there's a lot of emotion in video games. There's a lot of feeling. There's a lot of characterization and familiarization and empathication with the characters. There's many more levels to it than just the gameplay and the story. So it hits a lot of the metrics. I think that it has maybe starts to feel a bit sort of, dare I say it, Assassin's Creedy in a way. It
Mm.
feels like it's been polished to a point in time where it feels a bit more, way more corporate. What I quite liked about Infamous 1 and Infamous 2 is they felt a bit thrown together in a way. I know they're not. I know people have
I know
worked on them for years,
exactly what you
but they've got
mean.
that kind of scrappy feel to them.
They have, but
Um,
and because of that, the actual game they produced is actually special because you think, well, actually, they feel like this has been sort of thrown together, but about what they've produced is a really well executed, great
yeah,
controlled game, which is a bit ahead of its time for when it came out.
yeah.
I know exactly what you
Here's
mean.
an example for you. Sometimes when the Beatles were recording, their mistake would happen. I think in one of the songs, an alarm clock goes off. Day in the life. That was never actually meant to be in there. But you know what? It works perfectly because the next line
Mm,
ended up being, woke up, got out of bed, ran a comb across my head.
yeah.
When that thing went off, they never in their mind thought that that would be good to have that there for a reason, but they left it in. In other parts, have left it in words and bits and bobs. And I think sometimes good stuff has to be a little bit broken.
Mm, definitely. Yeah.
Unfortunately, Infamous Second Son is not broken. It's a flawless representation of what a video game should be, and for that reason, I can't get on with it.
Mm. Well, you say that, and I'm going off piste a bit here, but I'm the same with Bioshock Infinite. I didn't find Bioshock Infinite anywhere near as good as 1 or 2.
Yeah,
It didn't even
yeah,
feel like a
but
Bioshock game.
find me someone that did. The only thing that really ties it in and makes any sense is the last sort of 15 minutes of BioShock
Mm,
Infinite.
mm.
And thank God that's there.
Yeah, it just didn't. It almost felt like someone had tried to do a clone of Bioshock and done it in an opposite and done it in the
It
air.
kind of made sense. If they'd done a third one in the sea, I think by that point in time it would have been dismissed as very derivative by people.
Mm,
What more could you do? What more sea, more whales, more big daddies? What you got now? Big mummers, and they've got It was only ever going to go that way if it
mm.
stayed under the sea. So hang on, we've got to flip the script. We've got to do something. What's the opposite of this? I'll tell you what, boss. Yes, Josh, work experience boy. Sky. Yeah, actually. Yeah, Josh, you just got yourself hired. That's
Yeah,
brilliant.
yeah. But I
So
suppose whether that's a comparison to Second Son, like I say, I haven't really played it, so I don't
I
know.
think I
But
think I think the shades of the comparison are there. I think they're having a go, aren't they? And as you say, for you it was more a feeling of this is not what I want from a game. But I think
exactly.
sometimes the studios are that boxed in, they've got no choice.
Mm.
There is a spin-off to Second Son. I think it's infamous Second Son First Light or something like that.
Oh God, yeah, there is, isn't there? Was
That
that
character.
DLC or was it a separate
Yeah,
game?
that you do meet. I think you meet that character in this game, but then it's a DLC that was sold separately as well. So I don't think you need
Was that sort
Second
of a
Son to
purpley
play it.
cover on that?
Correct. She's got like his almost electrical light travel speed
Ah,
powers,
yes, yes, yes,
and
yes,
she's
yes.
actually bizarrely got more charisma than the main character. So if you're ever going to get mileage out of the Second Son sort of tier of games, First Light might be the better place to go to initially.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Brilliant. Yeah, that's interesting. I did want to speak to you on that. I saw another one here, which I wondered if you'd played being the Vita man yourself, which was Breach and Clear. And
No, I wondered if you might bring that up because I was going to ask you about it.
the only reason that
I,
always reminds me is because it was the very first limited run game, number one. So
and that
everyone
was on
always,
Vita, was it?
yeah, it was PC, and then it came over to Vita, didn't it? The Breach and Clear, and that was the
A few of
first.
these, like I also see that Luftrausers was a Vita game. I think it was
Mm,
like a side-on kind of single screen PvE kind of World War Two or aeroplane shooter game. Um,
mm.
yeah, I didn't have a Vita at this point in time. I picked one up maybe.
Oh, I thought you'd had one at launch.
No. I couldn't have done. I was in my gaming dark ages at this point. I was
Yeah,
I was playing Game Gear.
I actually got the local computer shop in my little town said I can get you a Vita in, and I got it late enough, when it launched, and yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. Loved it.
Couple of years in from here, I picked one up and
Mm.
then immediately connected everything up, obviously, because what's annoying is people will never know, but when the Vita was concurrent with the PS4 and the PS3, I suppose, because they all were kind of living in that ecosystem
Yeah,
at the same
yeah,
time, everything worked with everything.
yes,
And like now it feels like a distant memory, but everything was connected all at once in a way.
yeah.
I know in a way now you can still go on a genuine Vita, not jailbroken or even jailbroken in your trophy sync and everything feels sexy. But 2014 was the time where you felt like it wasn't a switch, but it was almost like a very close experience. You kind of had remote play, which
Yeah, I remember playing Jack and Daxter on
mileage
my
varies,
remote
but
play on my
you could be
PS4 and the
playing
Vita.
Jack and Daxter on PS3 or PS4, I think maybe on the trilogy remaster. I
Mm.
don't know if that would have been essentially possible to begin with, but let's say it was. And then I don't know if, again, depended on cloud saves and all that sort of stuff, but you could technically kind of pick up. I think Helldivers you could have played on your PS4 and continued to experience on your Vita. Totally genuine, no shadow of a doubt. And there are other games, I think. Retro City Rampage was one of them. I think maybe Hotline Miami was one of them that I've experienced. I'm sure other people will tell me otherwise, but
Mm.
yeah, it's a good time, mate.
Yeah, it was a good time. I mean,
I
the only
might get Breaching Clear because something tells me it's like Hotline Miami, isn't it?
yeah, it's very squad based, isometric. get in the rooms, do the signals, clear the rooms, proper SWAT team. Like I say, the physical was like number one on limited run. That's when they first started. So,
Mm.
that's ridiculous price, but I'm sure physically you can, digitally you can get that. Is there any more you want to talk about on these?
Um, well, I would say I've been on the Vita and PS3 stores recently, actively using it and buying some things up
Hmm.
and getting things downloaded from historic downloads. And yeah, there's not a lot left there, mate. It's very bare bones now. It's very bare bones.
Well, it's just one I was going to talk about on here, 25th of March, Fez. Obviously, if you've seen the documentary, the video game documentary they done about when all these indie guys were then first coming up, and Phil Fish was making Fez. And there was the guys making Super Meat Boy as well, and they were trying to get it on the Xbox 360 stores. And
Yeah, this is
there
the
was
era like
this,
Joey Danger as well, in it.
that was that era where also you could see these early indie devs who were working from home in their spare bedroom with a computer making these games, how they were nearly all broken, how the hours and strain. And
Yeah.
I remember the guys from, Phil Fish he was out there. The guy was out there. But I remember the guys doing Super Meat Boy as well, and they'd done it. They'd got the guys literally just eating takeaways, ordered code and 16, 17 hours a day to get the game on to Xbox Live. And then the day it was meant to be on, there's just these two shattered blokes in separate houses who'd been working on this game for how many years, load up Xbox Live to see it, and it's not there. And you just see the drain in them. You just think,
Oh God.
this has been my life for 2 years. And you just thought the strain on them taking on a project like that when there's just so few of them. And whenever I see Fez, even just his artwork, I always just think of Phil Fish and how he done that on his own. Got that game, but it came to critically acclaim in the end, and it was a very, very unique sort of puzzle platformer, and yeah, but he done well, but you could just see that he was a broken man at the end of it. I think safe to say. Did you ever play Fez, George? Or?
No, it kind of passed me by. I was aware of it. I think it was kind of sniffing around the Xbox 360 marketplace at some point in time. I
Mm.
don't know if it came there first or not, but I'm aware of Fez. I mean, it's probably not my cup of tea.
I think I've got it downloaded on my Vita, on my memory stick on my
Yeah,
Vita, and
that would ring a
it's that
bell, but
unique
I
sort of where
think
you
it would be a
turn
it
the
would be a bit of a hard play on Vita because Fez himself is quite a small little on-screen character, isn't he?
yeah,
So I
it
don't know
does
how that
it.
works
It
out.
sort of zooms in a bit as well, and you have to sort of turn the world as you go round. You sort of turn it to walk in to find doors to get up. It's very unique, very clever. For one
Mm.
man to have made that is very impressive. But like I say, the pressure was on. But yeah, I think we've comprehensively covered what we probably would have been playing in April 2014. And I think it's now time that we scoured the very darkest pages of the Gamer Mags and we delve deep into the interweb to bring you what was the latest stories in 20 April 2014. Do you want to take this first one, George?
No, I want the second one because
You
then
want
you
the
can get
second
the
one?
third one, which is right up your street, isn't it? And the second one's my cup of tea. So
Yep, no worries. Well, first up, this is
if
from
you're up
Edge.
for that,
Yeah, no problem. From Edge magazine, and this is titled "Academic Success." 4 months ago, Miguel Fasquet was not a race driver, but in January, he and three other Gran Turismo players, Florian Strauss, Nick McMillan, and Stanislav Asanov, finished first in the Dubai 24 Hours SP2 class. These GT Academy graduates were recruited based on their performances in the Gran Turismo 6 demo last year and all qualified for their race licenses after just 2 months of intensive training. A second GT Academy team came in third. The question of whether virtual skill could translate to real world success was posted by GT Academy back in 2008. In the years since, the alliance between Sony and Nissan to find new racing talent has become a reliable source of drivers for Nissan's Nismo race team. When Bob Neville of RGJN Motorsports, Mark Bowles of SCEE, and Darren Cox, the head of Nissan's Motorsport division, first met in 2008, Neville gambled on a mad proposition that he could take a gaggle of Gran Turismo fans, put them in Nissan cars, and find a genuine racer. But Neville isn't exactly short on confidence. If you gave me 20 bricklayers, he says, and if they are of the right age, fitness, and temperament, with the determination to become race drivers, we would find one with talent and we would train them into a professional driver. Founded in 2000, RGN Motorsports has a close relationship with Nissan and a record of success that makes it ideal as a virtual racers university. But AGN struck lucky with its first round of students. Lucas Ordonez was GT Academy's first shining light, having won in the inaugural 2008 competition. He's since placed second and third in class at Le Mans in 2011 and 2013. And he's also taken a class victory at the Nürburgring 24 Hours alongside Kazunori Yakamoshi. Since Ordonez, GT Academy has founded new talent with each passing year. UK winner Jan Marambara shared Lucas Ordonez third place in 2013 Le Mans and is now working through the single-seater ladder. Ordonez's own journey started downloading a demo for 2008's GT Academy. From there, he went through the national finals in Gran Turismo pods and then into GT Academy Race Comp, which is based at Silverstone in the UK on track tuition. Is accompanied by physical training, overseen by a judging panel of experienced racing professionals. After the intense program, the best are selected based on raw speed as much as temperament and fitness. The triad a real race driver needs. For Neville, taking on a raw talent like Lucas was a revelation. What surprised us with Lucas was the speed at which he adapted to the track cars, Neville says. In our experience over the years, the GT Academy winners have a unique talent when it comes to adopting to the real thing. For the team director, a childhood spent playing race sims is a perfect virtual foundation course. When we took Jan to Monza, he was running competitive laps with within 5 minutes. He says Gran Turismo clearly educated him. Neville draws a distinction between motorsport tradition and GT's Academy virtual filter, though. In the traditional path from go-karts to professional license racing, there's actually no selection filter. Talent isn't as important as money. Licenses are earned via experience. You can get pretty far without winning a thing. With GT Academy, the selection process is so tight that the drivers are all winners. The fact that they've made it through the process means they're the right fit. Lewis Hamilton, Neville notes, they talked about games in Gran Turismo. It's no secret that many of the current F1 drivers play video games, and for Neville, GT Academy is the formalisation of a trend that has been building since the 90s. With Nissan committed to racing Le Mans' highest category in 2015, and with so many GT players on the team, the prospect of virtually trained driver winning one of motorsport's Halo Triple Crown events, Le Mans 24 Hours, Monaco's F1 GP, and the Indianapolis 500 seems close to being a reality.
I doubt that. RGT, I don't know why you decided to rock up with War and Peace, but I tell you what, there's plenty of meat in there for us to chew on. Isn't this actually the guy that the film Gran Turismo is based on?
Yes, I believe it is, which is why I've chucked it in there. He went on to be, a hell of a racer. And I can remember, the reason I put this in, I can remember back in the day reading the magazine and saying that I thought this was a publicity stunt. I thought that it was a Gran Turismo publicity stunt to put a guy in a real car. This is how good our racing simulator is. Then you started keeping an eye on him, and he was then started winning quite early on in his career. And you thought, hang on, there's something in this, that he was that good. And obviously now has spawned a film and God knows what else. But it was so interesting that how confident Bob Neville was that you give me these races from Gran Turismo, and like he said, although they've been in a virtual world, the discipline is because they've had to all win to get through to the actual finals. They're all winners, so you're nearly guaranteed a race driver at one of those. And I
Yeah.
just, and it's obvious.
Some of the comments that the young gentleman made were a bit egregious. Obviously, he's very biased, so anyone who's coming through the karting ranks to him is just money. Even if you've got money, you've still got to win. I think that's one of the most brutal things that you learn as a young kid in karting. But
Mm,
there you go. Um,
yeah, and I
whatever you
think from
need.
Lewis Hamilton's background, they didn't have money. They scraped it and got through, and obviously the rest is history. But
Yeah, so I
um,
find that a little bit of a weird comment. But,
I know
a
what he
comment,
meant, but he was a
I know
bit
what he
brutal with it.
means, but it's a comment that was said by someone who had sort of maybe got a bit of a chip on his shoulder from coming up through a video game, as a better example.
Mm,
I would argue if he actually really passionately believed he wanted to be a racer instead of sitting in his bedroom playing a PS2, he'd have been out trying to get enough money to buy a go-kart or something. I don't know.
mm.
Bit of a strange one, but I do think that GT Academy and Gran Turismo have proven, and generally in the modern era, the lens that we sit in 2026 as it is now, I think a lot of these Sims have earned their stripes. All the F1 drivers are playing Sims in their break time.
Hmm.
A lot of them stream. A lot of them compete professionally, not only in the physical world but also in the digital world as well. Max Verstappen, Lando Norris, George Russell. Max Verstappen competing at a high level in esports as well with his 24-hour sim runs that he does and other bits and bobs. So
And all these
impressive.
F1 teams have their own sim teams as well.
Yeah,
They're all in
yeah,
the same headquarters, and they
yeah.
go on
So
the world tours,
not
and
only
it's
do they have a digital esports team to go along with the F1 game
mm,
that they have, but they obviously also have their own sims internally that the drivers train on. Some are advanced, some are probably just PS4 with Codemasters F1 game on it. I'm joking. I'm joking. That's obviously not what they're doing. I know, but within reason, it's probably pretty close.
if you actually do watch the live F1 esports events, they are very good to watch with the 20 drivers, 10 and 10 sitting above each other, the big screen for the whether they're doing it in a theater or whatever, and the crowd watching, and and commentators, and it's very good. I mean, you'd think it'd be quite boring to see someone sitting on a stage, but it's very epic and swapping places and pit stops, and really good.
Yeah,
It's
I think the one thing I would like prefer to see in that situation, and is a more sort of maybe follows the Grand Prix itself. So
oh,
you
so
go
yeah.
to Silverstone, you go to Spa-Francorchamps, you go to Suzuka, you go to I don't know wherever in
Mm.
South America or America, Brazil, all those kind of places, and you take those that thing along as part of the circus. I think what I would prefer to see, and I don't quite know how they do it exactly, but I can't imagine they're going to do this. I would prefer to see practice one, two, and three on the Fridays and mixed in with the proper Formula One at the circuit. On the Saturday, you have the practice three and qualifying, like you would do in the real
I think
thing.
they do
So
it
then,
similar. I think they done it similar.
and then in
Over
the
two
race,
days.
I want no messing about. I want the full formation lap, which is in the game now, I believe,
Yeah,
and
they
then
do that. Yeah.
I also want the full race distance, no messing about.
Yeah. I, I'm trying
I
to
don't
think
want
whether
50%, 20%. I don't want any of that. I want full race
I'm
distance.
sure they did do full race distance. I'm sure of it. Unless it
Okay,
was, I might be wrong, but
then I might start watching that.
yeah,
Maybe.
it is very good. But
Oh,
yeah,
hang on a minute, mate. Beelzebub's on the phone. He says his front pond's frozen over, so I guess I will be watching F1 esports this weekend.
brilliant. Um, yeah, it's. I know this was a long article. It's Edge magazine. All their articles are very journalistic and very
Yeah,
big, but they get. There's none of this.
this is proper journalistic shizzle. I
Yes.
have to admit, this is not. this is not thermal tangers. This
And
is
we
definitely they're having a go,
thermal
aren't they?
tankers, and also we're both, Gran Turismo fans. And
Yeah.
I never realised I knew this lad had come through, won this competition, and went on to be successful. I never realised how in depth they were going with all these drivers and really, literally using it as it's almost like a youth team at a big football club, and they're just picking through to see who could actually be, that good. It's
Yeah,
really
well,
interesting.
this comment that this chappie made, he says, if you give me 20 bricklayers, he says, and if you they were the right age, fitness, and temperament with the determination to become race drivers, we would find one with talent and we would train them into a professional driver.
Mm.
Now, I get that. I think that is there, but let's end on this. I think it was Bernie Epstein. No, that would be
Oh,
the wrong character. Bernie
definitely.
Eccleston.
Yeah,
Bernie Eccleston.
that's better. Ooh.
Oh, this is fine. He's not related. Anyway, they said to him, who do you think, where do you think the next best F1 driver's coming from? He said, the next best F1 driver is a lumberjack in the Ukraine somewhere, but you'll never ever get in an F1 car.
Mm.
And I think there's a lot to be said about there
Mm.
is the greatest person to ever drive in F1 will never actually be an F1 driver. He's just doing he's a like float driver
Yeah.
for British Milk or whatever it is. And
Mm.
that's, I think, sadly true, but at least GT Academy gives people the chance to get their talent seen.
Yeah, like an alternate route into the industry, and
It's a
it's
bit of
it's
an X factor roll of the dice, but I think if you get in, you've got to work it.
mm,
And
yeah,
it's physically, you can't just, you know, driving a car in your house for 2 hours is probably quite physically exerting. I'll give you that, but it's not stood up to the G forces of a two
exactly,
hour
yeah,
or
yeah,
24-hour race. So you could be an absolute blob and be awesome at F1, but then rock up for GT Academy and they're like, right, okay then, chap. Hmm. You,
yes,
we hit the first corner, you're going to be up that side wall like a ball of jelly. We're going to probably by the fourth lap, we're going to have to come and pull you out the back of it. No, mate. You're going to have
yeah,
to do a couple of laps of this on foot first, and then maybe in a week or two, we'll squeeze you in the motor.
brilliant. No, but yeah, interesting there to see where they were picking people from and how
Well,
it actually
especially
worked. But
2014 as well. It was
mm,
already paying dividends. I
yeah,
suppose one last thing as well. Oh, we're nearly close to seeing someone win the Triple Crown. Well, that person would have to get a chance to win Le Mans, win Indy 500, which there's a chance, but then get a one-off opportunity or a full season and then win the Monaco Grand Prix. I think we're some time off someone coming through the video game route winning the
yeah.
Triple Crown. Anyway, um,
What's up next, then, George?
bit of Star Wars news, and if you want, I'll throw myself on the pyre. I'll take the third bit of news as well, so you can just relax a little bit. Because
No,
let's
you're
see.
all right. I
No,
can
no,
do
I
it.
want to do it.
Oh, okay. That's yeah. Okay, you were determined then.
You rolled over a bit easy, so now I'm thinking it's a trap. But anyway, that's on theme for a Star Wars thing. It's a trap. All Star Wars games are no longer canon. Uh-oh, I remember this happening. Huh, it's weird this. It's almost like I've time traveled. In a recent blog post reported by CVG, Lucasfilm has announced all Star Wars video games and expanded universe media is non-canon. Just like that. This basically means all video games set in the Star Wars world, despite their license, are not part of the official Star Wars story. Apparently, only the six films and the Clone Wars TV show are properly canon. However, Lucasfilm has also decreed that all Star Wars spin offs in the future will be more closely tied to the core films. What does this mean for gaming? Several things actually. It's not unusual for Lucas to tinker with what is and isn't considered official Star Wars lore. In fact, the company can't leave this damn franchise alone. As the remastered versions of Episode 4 to 6 attest, it seems strange that even close tie-ins are no longer considered part of the story, especially as games like Force Unleashed present smart and fan-pleasing theories on heavily debated aspects of the lore. There's something a little sad about Lucasfilm humorously dismissing all the sly winks and nods to the core films, especially so when games like Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2 do such a great job of creating compelling stories within the Star Wars universe, while also being very careful not to rely on endless crowd-pleasing references to the original trilogy. In the writer Anthony Hartup's personal opinion, I'd rather axe the dreadful prequel films from the Star Wars canon and leave a handful of great Star Wars games like KOTOR firmly in there. But then again, I'm not George Lucas or any of his minions. Or am I? No, I'm not. No, you're not, Andy, thankfully, because coming in here with your axe, cleaving up what you think's right and wrong, Disney have already done enough damage, RGT. I remember this happening. It was part of the owed
Well,
buyout.
there's a bit more to that as well.
Oh, sorry, it ended just like it should have. Like I felt like that was it. Okay, well, Andy continues. Being banished from the initial canon certainly doesn't detract from the content of any game, but does lessen the importance of any story beats and the feeling that you're part of the Star Wars experience. It's like a mean older child telling you that you can't play Battle of Hoth with the other kids, even though you've brought your Tauntaun costume. However, the good news in all this, well, it might not actually be good news. Lucasfilm has set up a story group that will oversee every future expanded universe product to make sure it fits with the Star Wars canon. This means that titles in development like the new Battlefront being made by DICE will have to comply with Lucasfilm's current vision of the franchise. Sure, it's great that each new game will have the official seal of approval. I think they did anyway, which is odd, adding to authenticity, but this also relies on Lucas's current vision, aligning with stuff great games are made of. Video games and films have a famously troubled relationship when it comes to movies becoming games. The most common reason for failure is a lack of artistic license. Developers need creative freedom to turn the most explosive, exciting material into a decent game. Sticking too rigidly to film structure or studio demands leads to hogwash like Enter the Matrix or Iron Man the game. I'm starting to doubt this man's credence, if I'm honest, RGT, but I shall read on. My worry is that Lucasfilm will ask for too much control and will suffocate future gaming iterations of Star Wars like a force choke trademark. But there's the issue of whether or not we actually want games based on Lucas's current Star Wars vision. Here he goes again. Sure, episodes 4 to 6 are quite rightly cherished, and we all love to be part of them. Episodes 1 to 3, not so good. And the fact that Lucas retconned several aspects of 4 to 6 to justify some of the stuff in 1 to 3, yeah, leaves a sour taste, right? Doesn't fill me with confidence for the quality and faithfulness of the forthcoming episodes 7 to 9. And it's these films, this story that will be the. And it's these films, this story, that will be the focus of the story group as they seek to influence and control all Star Wars media from this point forwards. I don't know as the second piece really needed to be said. There's a story wrapped up in an opinion piece wrapped up in a story there. He published it as news, said Andy Hartup, and then basically wrote his opinion of what he thought Star Wars should or shouldn't be. I am interested to talk to you in a moment about how you think this has played out. I'm finding some of what he's saying a little bit out there. Listen, I don't really feel like this has really made that much of a difference in the grand scheme of things, if I'm honest, RGT. I was playing only, what, 2 weeks ago, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic on the old Switcher 2 in the bedroom in the hotel room. And I was thinking to myself, this is nice. Now, I remember in 2014, I was a very bitter, very beloved, very peaceful, very right on Star Wars fan as well. And now, 11 years on from this point, it's so dead that I just don't even care anymore.
Mm,
I'll
mm.
be honest with you. That's what they've done to Star Wars. They milked it for all it was worth. They steamrolled a load of stuff in. They made you feel like all the stuff you'd already spent all your money on was like pointless because oh no, we decide that's not canon anymore. Ergo, clear your bookshelves because we're going to sell you a load more tat.
Well, I
Um,
think this is summed up with this part where it says, um, However, the good news in all of this, well, it might not actually be good news. Lucasfilm has set up a story group that will oversee every future expanded universe product to make sure it fits in the Star Wars canon. This means that titles in development, like the new Battlefront being made by DICE, will have to comply with Lucasfilm's current vision of the franchise. No story in that game whatsoever. It was just a cash cow online only where people had to pay to win. You
Well, I
could go in
do.
with $70 and buy Darth Vader from the very first day and just kill everyone online. There was no story in it. So
I
if the
think there's something here that made me smile because he. No, I'm not saying that. Oh, where is it? Force Unleashed is a bad game, okay, but the way it plays with the lore, which was deemed to be canon at the time, yeah, think about that. And the fact that's now in the bin, I'm actually quite happy with. The fact that Cal Kestis and Fallen Order exist now in this, and he is protected at the behest of Starkiller, I think that's actually a decent trade-off in terms of what they've done to the books. I mean, you telling me, are you telling me Battle Endor isn't legit anymore? So that's not canon. Oh my.
mm, yeah, this is it's. I put this in because one, I know you're a massive Star Wars fan, and two, he sounds like a quite embittered Star Wars
I
fan.
haven't thought about all this for such a while. It's been so dead in my head.
Mm.
I've
And it is
actually just thought, oh my God.
and it is interesting because when you've had licensed Star Wars games in the past, which have tried to be the movies, people complain because oh well they missed that out and that weren't quite right there. So then you do side stories, but then you either keep them completely separate or it has a bit of a line into the films, and then is that wrong? So do you know what I mean? I'm a casual Star Wars fan, so I know you are quite a hardcore fan. So I wanted to know what your opinion is on this. Do the games
I'll be honest. At the time, I'd have been very animated about this and what's going on, and Disney have done this, and what doesn't make any sense. I'd have been very passionate about a load of old universe books that I've probably barely read, to be fair, and oh, yeah, the Empire this and blah blah blah, and this Force Awakens better be good and blah blah blah. And where did any of it get us, really? I mean, even I got caught up in the smoke of Force Awakens. By the time I woke up, I mean, I basically watched Luke Skywalker get fingered. So yeah, not the greatest experience as a Star Wars fan, but it is what it is. It's a cash cow. It was bought to get pimped, and that's exactly what they did to
mm,
it. They basically just stood it out in a street corner and a pair of cheap stilettos. I mean, that's basically what Star Wars is, and
mm,
that's kind of why when I was reading this, I felt like actually distanced from it in a way. I was kind of divorced from it. I've
mm,
now just settled up on what I think is Star Wars in my head, and that includes some of these games. You know, Star Wars Republic Commando, Knights of the Old Republic. You know, I'm if
mm.
if Disney say, "Oh, that's not legit," like, hang on, who was KOTOR ever hurting? It was set thousands of years before the main film. He could have. He could have written Luke Skywalker eats fish pie on a wall in that game, and it would make no it wouldn't even scratch the surface of being an issue, would it? 4,000 years later or whatever it is.
No,
So
it's just a setting in the universe, and the talent that some of these devs done was, even though it was 1,000 years before Star Wars, it was still very good, and you knew it was in the Star Wars world, and it
yeah,
was,
I
you know,
mean, in here he says, "Oh, Dark is it Dark Forces, the PS1 PC
mm,
shooter?" That's about stealing the plans for the Death Star.
mm,
Now, I would ask this gentleman now, I would look him in the eye, old Andy Hartup, and ask him in 2026, how does your idea hold up now that you've seen Rogue One, that you wouldn't want that film made because it sadly betrays the story beats in Dark Forces? I think it would glow beetroot red and be like, yeah, all right, well. And I say, well, you win some, you lose some, pal, don't you?
exactly,
So
yeah,
as I said, I'm willing to sacrifice some of this for some of that.
mm,
And I think, in my example, I sacrificed Force Unleashed and we got Cal Kestis. In his example, I think we got an Equidistant Wind, did we not? So,
mm.
yeah,
Yeah.
I would burn Dark Forces on a pyre to get Rogue One any day of the week,
Mm,
and Andor and all that other stuff.
mm.
Yeah, a worthwhile trade-off. This last bit of news, also from Games Radar. Oh,
I put this in because me being the Uncharted fan, I thought, ooh, this is
well, you can sit back and listen to this read
mm,
to you, digest it, and then I can pull my chair up and get all Parkinson on you. I don't mean the shakes, I mean the interviewer guy. Right. Could Uncharted 4 be in trouble? Signs point to yes, says old Lucas Sullivan over at Games Radar. He's got the lowdown on something. This was published on the 22nd of April 2014. Something's going down behind closed doors at Naughty Dog and it doesn't bode well. It all started with the departure of Amy Hennig in March, who had been the writer and director of the Uncharted series. She's now working on an unannounced Star Wars project at Visceral Games. Later this month, Justin Richmond, the game director on the upcoming Uncharted game for PS4, PS4,
mm.
leave that in RGT, keep me humble,
I
left
will.
Naughty Dog for Riot Games. Today we're hit with a 1-2 punch of troubling Naughty Dog news. Nate Wells, the lead artist on The Last of Us, is moving to indie developer Giant Sparrow.
Mm.
Nice move. And
Regretting
the
that
only
move,
named
Nate.
character confirmed for Uncharted PS4 has been recast following the departure of writer and actor Todd Stashwick, who will be joining Hennig of Visceral. It all begs the question, just what in the hell is going on over there? Without an inside source, I can't say for sure, but my guess is that Uncharted on PS4 is the cause of the turmoil, with the development staff in a blog post from the developer from November last year, Naughty Dog's community strategist Arne Meyer wrote that Amy Hennig, Justin Richmond, and the team are hard at work on an amazing new installment of the Uncharted series to be released exclusively on the PlayStation 4 system, adding, "We can confirm the voiceover is performed by Todd Stashwick and he will play a character in the game." 6 months later, every team member mentioned in that statement, all of them playing an integral role in Uncharted on PS4, is now gone. People typically don't depart a company in short succession when they're satisfied with their job. For that, many creative leads to all jump ship within the 2 month span can't be a good sign, and may indicate internal conflict over the direction of Uncharted for Sony's newest console. Perhaps demands were made of the project that Hennig and Richmond couldn't agree with. Hennig has been with the series since its inception, so for her to leave so abruptly could be an indication that something is going very wrong. Or maybe achieving Uncharted signature set pieces on PS4 is proving to be nigh unsurmountable challenge. After Uncharted 2 hit it big, co-lead designer Richmond Lemashand revealed, slapped an M in his name for some reason, only in the first one, not in the second one, where it belonged. The set pieces took much longer to create and polish than we'd anticipated between the scale of the project and frame rate issues that needed to be ironed out. Uncharted 2 resulted in a soul-crushing crunch period at Naughty Dog. We realised just how big of a game we had bitten off, and we were either going to have to chew extra hard or make some cuts or choke, said Lemarchand. Let me know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Perhaps that same excruciating amount of demand is being made of the current Uncharted staff, enough to make some team members reach their breaking point. Regardless if you were hoping for Uncharted on PS4 within the year, you should probably temper your expectations. This all feels like deja vu, a company going through team-wide exodus right after coming off a widely popular AAA game. It was only this past February that Irrational Games disintegrated following the success of BioShock Infinite, a move that stunned many gamers into appreciating the creative tolls that came with developing big-name games for years at a time. With Naughty Dog's current state of affairs, it seems to me like half a year's work, or at least for the fourth Uncharted installment, may not be all but abandoned. If the people still working at Naughty Dog want to shake off any doom and gloom rumours, they need to hit E3 2014 hard with some Uncharted info that's more substantial than a teaser trailer. When game development veterans like Amy Hennig exit a project on unclear terms, it's bound to create a crisis of confidence for the game currently in development. And the thought of Naughty Dog losing its footing after putting out Games Radar's best game of 2013 is troubling indeed. RGT, you're a big fan of the Uncharted series.
Mm-hmm.
Much of this is out there, obviously, now in the wider press. I think really much of this inner machination between Amy and Naughty Dog never really did come out. I think Amy had a lot of the game planned from memory. She had it all storyboarded on a wall. This wasn't just some throwaway effort that they were halfway into. And as far as I'm aware, everything that was up on a wall was in the bin, and the locations were repurposed with some additional ones recreated and then reordered with a totally new story and additional characters to make it all work. Uncharted 4 ended up being a bloody good game by all reckoning, but it had a very troubled incubation period, RGT. Tell me what you know.
Um, well, pretty much the same as you. I mean, I knew there was in the early days there was a lot of trouble with people leaving. I didn't know people by name at the time. Obviously do now a few years later, and with Amy going and a few others. Yes, the journalist was delving deep into that. Massive troubles. Naughty Dog are in trouble. Uncharted's, it's looking like it's going to be a failure. It obviously weren't. I mean, Uncharted 4 ended up being an absolutely fantastic game. How much of what their input was in this early on, or, whether and why that went on, we don't know. I mean, I would imagine, me personally, I think there was probably Amy wanted it to go one way with her story, and they had a different plan involved in that. And in the end, it was just,
I
you
think
know,
there was a little bit of a coup de grace going on at Naughty Dog at the time as well. I'll be honest. And I think Amy was maybe wrapped up in that and ended up being one of the losers. The winners are the ones that crawled out the dust of what was left and obviously gave us Uncharted 4 and Last of Us Part 2,
mm,
and are about to really test themselves with Intergalactic
mm,
Heresy Prophecy because, new project, new systems, new gameplay loop, you
hmm
really putting it out there. Um, I think that it probably stems from Amy being a bit burnt out. She was involved in a lot of big games from Soul Reaver
yeah,
straight,
a lot of
really
crunches.
straight into Uncharted, followed almost immediately by 2,
Mm,
followed almost immediately by 3. Big games, a lot of story, a lot of moving parts. The way she works is, from what I understand, there's a lot of movie watching I want this piece to be like this. Let's watch this piece of
you
this
can see
movie.
that in her
Yeah.
work as
Let's
well.
try and bring the spirit of that out and make this into this. And she has a stack of movies and a video player or probably DVDs up now or whatever she's doing now. She's not brought a game out in a long time, bless her. Um, I feel like this clipped her wings a bit. Getting a Star Wars game cancelled as well, I think clipped her wings the second time.
Mm.
And I don't even know if she's even in the industry anymore. But I can understand how, in a world of crunch and Sony had been on the phone. We said this was going to be a launch game, right? Oh, was it? Yeah. Oh, what are you doing? Oh, me and the team are watching Smokey and the Bandit. Amy, Amy, this is great. I love it, but you need to crunch. Oh, I know, but we need this bit of the story to be great. Yeah, I know, but come on. You haven't coded for 2 weeks. This might be the extreme example of it,
Mm.
but you can imagine that would be quite a frustrating way to work. But I don't know any other way you could try and build that dynamic in without it. So,
And yeah, like you say, it might be a clash of styles from the new way that things are working with video games to the way Amy developed video games, and eventually it clashed. And
yeah,
um,
I think maybe in the modern age you get something working and then kind of, I think, story comes first, I think, every time. But do you then part the story and get something half working and then try and pin your story on top of that? You get a vehicle, you kind of get four wheels on it, get it rolling down the road and perfect it as you go, or do you do it the other way around? Like you keep perfecting the story, but without this, we need a vehicle to pin the story to.
mm,
There's many there's many facets to making a great game. I think maybe I think maybe Amy represented maybe a different way of working, a different style of storytelling. I definitely feel a difference between the Uncharted trilogy and 4, and uh, it's definitely a different game. It's definitely a different vibe from the minute you start in it. It's definitely got more of a Last of Us vibe than it has an Uncharted vibe before.
definitely, it's definitely. more mature, more serious. You see another side to Nate. You see his
Yeah.
personal side more. You see an older guy. You see a bit of his history and family. And yeah, it's definitely, at the time, I just thought that was them maturing the series to a finale. But obviously, now you see all this. There's obviously a part of the game has gone different because of people who weren't there working on it. So you can see that now.
It's
Um,
been co-opted.
mm,
And to be fair to your point, I think, maybe quite rightly so, PS4 had landed, it had a little bit more of that mature PlayStation vibe about it again. It was for the players. This was quite honestly legitimately the sign off to what had been a very big PS3 era game
mm,
for a lot of the hardcore fans. So to mature the storyline up a little bit, more in line, 4 definitely feels very much like it's in the Last of Us universe at times in terms of the graphical fidelity, some of the visceral punishment that's received in it
mm,
as well.
mm.
It's on the button at times for an Uncharted game. It's on the edge.
Yeah,
Um,
I think the PS3 you had an indie clone with a guy who had witty lines,
I
and
don't want you.
it's
I don't. I think we need to start looking at Uncharted as Romance in the Stone.
yeah, I know what you mean, but I'm just using it as an example as to
Don't you?
the character himself. You know, he was always close to death, witty comments.
Yes.
You know, but then when into 4, you actually saw a man that he's done with this now, near enough.
Yeah.
And suddenly you think, oh, he's a real person actually. Played
Yeah, and I
brilliantly by
think
Nolan
after
North.
is it 3, you see him as that kid, you play as him as a kid in it a lot, don't you? Which then returns in 4 as well when you
Mm,
start to kind
mm,
of then pick that story up with the brother, so
mm,
that you have almost then seen the full circle of Nate's life.
mm,
And obviously when it came out, obviously Thief's End was
mm.
quite a scary title if you think about it, in terms of what that could represent to
Yeah.
the franchise and a fan.
Mm,
I don't think they really made much of it. I think if I'd been them, I'd have lent into it a bit more,
mm,
you know. But, it is what it is. But this is, as you say, this was big controversy at the time.
mm,
This, y- this was talked about for at least the spin-off and the reverberations of this move, of what the hype wagon of what Amy's next game was going to be, this unannounced Star Wars project. I think Star Wars 1818, it kind of ended up getting a name attached to it a little bit. Um, People were still talking about this in 2017.
mm. Yeah. Yeah. And I think, you know, how, especially with, I know there was other people as well, but with Amy, how well known she was for the game she'd done,
Mm.
learning that she'd gone, you can tell by this article that straight away they were like, he wasn't saying this as much, but he's basically saying, well, is Uncharted 4 going to happen? It seems like it's dead now. With Amy gone, who's going to do Uncharted 4? They've straight away thought, right, this is done. Naughty Dog's in mega trouble. They pulled it out of the bag in the end and created a great game. But I would like to have seen what Uncharted 4 would have been with Amy there. That would have been interesting. Did they use a lot
I
of
would
her
like to have
story? I don't
seen.
know.
I
But
would like to have seen what these games would have been if Last of Us hadn't stuck,
mm, mm, yeah, yeah, could have
because
been
it was
very
a
much.
very kind of zombie saturated world at the time.
And they even had the Easter egg to link them, where people thought
In the
is what,
newspaper, yeah.
yeah, in the newspaper, in Uncharted 3, was it in the pub, in the
3.
English pub? Yeah, and
There's a little reference to a
yeah,
virus.
if you've never seen that, you're in Uncharted 3, you have a punch up in a pub, but if you go to the corner, there's a newspaper, and that shows the picture of the ant from the famous virus, and it says, virus outbreaks hit certain parts of the world, blah blah blah, and that's why everyone thought that was either a little hint to Last of Us or whether that was they're in the same universe, so there was that close ties with the game. But yeah, definitely from the popularity of Last of Us, which you can see in Uncharted 4. Yeah, it's been interesting, like you say, if Amy had stayed and Last of Us hadn't stuck, what would we have got?
I know. Um, Maybe they'd be one of those studios that'd let go.
Hmm, Yeah, you don't know. You don't know.
Imagine that.
Imagine if Naughty Dog had gone. You know, we wouldn't have had we wouldn't have had 8 remasters of Last of Us.
What would they have done?
Exactly. But yeah, 3 very interesting stories. I hope you like those. I know some of them are a bit long, but I'd like to put the full article in because that's quite interesting to see what these journalists and what we were thinking at the time. From how they were picking out Gran Turismo online players and successful virtual racers to race in the real world, right through to a quite embittered Star Wars fan writing an article on games being linked to films, right
Weren't we
through to
all? Weren't
you
we
know,
all?
yeah, and to Uncharted 4, thinking, is it going to happen? Are Naughty Dog in trouble? Obviously, we know different now, but yeah, I thought it was very interesting to see what they were thinking at the time, and some quite controversial incidents that had happened within the gaming world. But now I think it's time for what we affectionately call Stingray's boot. What's nestled between some counterfeit nappies and a dodgy copy for Battle Endor is some of the new releases for April/May 2014. Now then, what have you got your eyes on in here? I did put a little one in here because I knew you'd have been all over it. You are the man for that game, and you probably buy it on 3 different consoles every single year. Oh, we can't find it.
Oh, I know.
Yes. What is it, George?
It's MLB.
MLB 14, the show. Well,
It's a
you.
really good version of it, to be fair. I was just looking
I
through
knew
it because I
you'd
was
know.
going to throw a couple. I've got this on Vita. I've got it on PS3. I've got it on PS4. I was going to throw in. It's one of the blue top PS3 games, by the way. If you're so mildly curious about such a thing existing out there in the
Oh.
wild, as is there another blue top PS3 game right at the bottom of the list. It's Drakengard 3.
Yes. How many of them is there, these blue tops? If you don't know, I think the last sort of few games of the PS3 or in that era, they had a blue top that sort of crossed over the PS4.
Yeah, I don't know.
I remember we
It's a
spoke about this a
curio.
few times,
Yeah, I go down rabbit holes, don't I? I want to get every steelbook. I want to get them every MLB steelbook, and
don't we all, though?
I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to get all the blue top PS3 games. I rated out a few. There was MLB. There was this. There was a couple of others, but yeah, you can't. It's hard to find evidence and a full list. So without physically just starting to buy retrospectively. And there's no guarantee it's blue top from the
Hmm.
last game made, working backwards through concurrently until you hit another black top. But then you
Hmm.
might go another black tops and get a blue. So it's an unknown. And I don't know how or why Sony made the decision. I wonder if it was like a worldwide decision, but still some local marketing pushed it through in a different way. So
Maybe.
MLB is a game that could be published in several markets, but would still need to attach at the right,
Hmm.
look in terms of short store display. Hang on, we've got all the PS4 store display out, so why don't we do a blue top PS3 version of MLB and then they can all be on and use the blue theme? Oh, good idea, Brian. Yeah, we'll do that. But I don't ever imagine walking into Best Buy and seeing a Drakengard display.
Hmm.
So go figure. I mean, go figure. It's a real interesting curio and one that would probably only ever be talked about on this show. So if you do know any more about the blue topped last era PS3 games, whether is a full list, PAL versus USA as well, or whether it's a worldwide thing, let us know. I would love to know. Um, what game are you picking out, RGT?
I'm gonna pick two. Probably not what you think I'm gonna pick. One of them is R-Type Dimensions. I love me
That
R-Type.
was an obvious choice for you.
Uh, oh, and I loved it on the PS3. So it was the first time I'd seen a game where you could change the graphics to the old style pixel to the new modern sort of way. You could play between the two, and I thought that was brilliant. I played it right through, completed it, really enjoyed it. And another one that you were not going to guess that I've going to pick, a Sparkle 2.
I knew you were going to say Sparkle too.
You didn't have a clue. I've played the Sparkle games, and they're sort of the ball roll and puzzle game. But I had so much fun with those. Um, and I just, yeah, I've always wanted another Sparkle game, actually. I like
Mate,
those
I'll
sort
tell
of
you
ball
what,
puzzle
the
games. Brilliant.
Xbox Arcade was full of games like
Yeah, I
this.
bet. Yeah,
Peggle, Sparkle.
yeah,
PS3, I think, got equal amounts of them. Maybe didn't push them as hard, but these
yeah.
games are everywhere.
Yeah, great
Um,
fun. They were great fun, but two sort of good memories for me. So I'm going to pick those. What about you, George? What two are you going to pick out of Stingray's boot?
um, I think I'm contractually obliged to pick MLB, um, for my second game. And it's bizarre how these things happen. Obviously, I didn't realize I was having to come this far forward in research. I'll be honest with you. I've been a bit blindsided by 2014, but it seems to me that we remember a little bit more than we thought, but maybe less than
Mm.
we thought we thought that we knew. But anyway, there's a game here called Bound by Flame, which was a game that they gave away on PSN for PS3 when they were doing Vita, PS3, and PS4 game
Mm.
giveaways. So that might be in your back catalogue. So RGT, check it out.
That must be
Or if
where I've seen it from. What sort of game is it? Is it an RPG or something? Is it?
it
Or...
is, yeah, it's
Mm.
it's deemed to be kind of. It might be a hidden gem actually, RGT, because I think Metacritic wise it got a 7. So in that era, a 7 would have struggled to really penetrate any sales,
Mm.
if that makes sense, because people are a bit more snooty. Had to get a
Mm.
9 or a 10, as it wasn't getting bought, and
Yeah.
that is a fact.
Mm.
So now we see sixes and sevens, and we've half convinced ourselves that there's a good game in there somewhere. And Bound by Flame is alleged to be one of those. So if you're looking for a hidden gem, my little friendly friend, don't know
Mm.
if it ever got a physical. I've only got it digital on PS3. I've never seen it in the
I just
wild or
remember
been
seeing Bamba
attracted to
Flame
it.
when I was researching this, and I thought, why do I recognise that? Well, maybe it's because it's in my back catalogue from me,
Yeah, I think
PlayStation
it
Plus.
is.
Mm.
Um, I think, and that might be obviously a bit of a shout out to Watch Dogs. If you listen to the main show as well, you'll
Yeah.
know that I gave that a go on the most recent episode. And
Hmm.
I think if I played it in 2014, new console, new feeling, new vibe, new controller, yeah, do you know what? I think I'd have got drawn into it a bit more.
Yeah.
I think the stealth would have done my head in. I've always been a bit of an anti-stealth player.
Mm.
Um, so maybe last little shout out, which is nice to see, is Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a few like that out. Mario Kart 8, Lego The
Hang
Hobbit.
on, hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on a minute.
Anyway, Lego The Hobbit, Mario Kart 8 was
No,
also.
dude, I don't think you can just brush over me like that. I'm your guest, and you're not. You've totally glossed over how we're seeing the Ray. I know you want it to be a big boy over here on Flashy B.
You'd forgot as well. So,
No, mate,
oh,
I was waiting for
oh,
you. I'm the
oh,
passenger. I'm just sat here like, oh, where you going? I thought he must know that we've gone the wrong
exactly.
way down this road. So I'm going to let him sort it out himself. Because if I say, don't forget about Ray Road, you'd be like, I know about Ray Road, dickhead. Let me just turn right here and back right again and then down this little side alley. Here's Ray. How you seeing him?
Anyway, like you say, you are the passenger. So, Lego The Hobbit was also out. There was. There was Trolls Fusion. Had great times with Trolls Fusion. Good game. That was also out. Any other notable ones before we go
I
to
may be a
look?
passenger, but more like in the way that Mr. Bean sits on top of his Mini.
Kirby Triple
Um,
Deluxe. Anyway, yes. How are you seeing the Ray today, George?
oh, the Ray. I know you've tried to kill him off, but he's a beloved family friend. I tell you, I'm seeing the Ray. He's
Hmm.
coming in here, and I tell you what he looks like. He looks like a divorced dad.
Wow.
Yep. It's 2014, so he's gone full hipster. He's got a flat cap. He's got jeans, but he's got little cycling clips on him, and he's got what can only be described as a fixie. He's wearing, those bikes where they've got the fixed gears.
Oh, okay.
You know the
Yeah, yeah,
ones.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's got he's got a cup carrier on his push bike because he didn't come up in the I know it sounded like he came up in the Bluebird. He came up on this fixie. He's got a little cup carrier on there, and he's got what it's 2014, so it's a bit edgy. He's got what looks like an oat milk flat white.
Mm.
Um, yeah, and I can't see Wayne because it's not Sting's day for custody.
Ah, okay. Well, me, right, Stingray. Stingray, he's tried to get him and Wayne on point. So what he's done is Sting has come. He's come as a racing driver, but he's put his old kart suit on from when he was 7.
Oh,
So I mean, it's seriously tight. So it's almost,
Sting
yeah. So it's
from when it was 7.
from when he was 7. So it's undone at the front. His chest and medallions out, and the sleeves are almost up to elbow and knee on the legs. So it's tight. I mean, it's going to give. If he bend over, explosions happening. Now Wayne, he's tried to go as a Mario Kart, so he's got a little pedal car, but
I'm
then
gonna ride him.
but he's but his suit's far too big, so it's getting caught around the pedals. He can't pedal it properly. I mean, they're trying to push the Mario Kart 8, Gran Turismo, Kiddie doing Mario Kart, him doing Gran Turismo, but it's not pulled. There'd have been better swapping suits, to be honest. But I'll give him a half a point for being on point with racing games at the moment because it was a popular time for him. But yeah, bless him. Out of Stingray's boot, what film are you picking? I know
Hang
what
on a
I'm.
minute.
I know what
Let me
I'm
have a little
picking.
look in Ray's. Hey, Ray, is that a tattoo? Of course it is. Yeah,
Mm.
no worries. I'm gonna get. Hey, Ray, taking it. You watched this on a date last week, Ray? Banger. I'm gonna take this cam copy of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Ooh, nice, nice.
It
I'm
felt weird picking a film. I'll be honest, RGT. It's over 10 years ago, but it felt like I was picking a film from last week.
Yeah, I know it's weird as well because the film I'm picking I haven't seen, but I know Mrs. RGT loved the series, but this is the first one in the series, and that is Divergent. Um, Never seen it myself, but it was out
Is
in
that about
March.
people with like different like mental
Definitely not.
well,
No.
is that the right? Okay.
It was a bit like a clone of Hunger Games, I believe.
Wow.
Mm.
Okay, that's thrown a whole new sort of angle
Had
on it.
had that British actor who went across and done the Divergent films. He had a small part in Downton Abbey in the first series. He was the Turkish guy that died in Downton Abbey. He went
Come
across.
on, move.
Yeah, and he he went across and done Divergent. He was
Yeah,
also
he's
in
in The Gentleman, isn't he? I can't remember his name, but
yes,
that's he's Kamal Pamuk in
he
my
was
house.
also in
So
one of my favourite TV series, which Mrs. RGT got me for Valentine's Day on DVD, which is Bedlam, which is in that as well, which is fantastic. So,
Kamal Pamuk's in that.
hmm so
He's in a few things, old Kamal Pamuk.
mm,
He's the son of the Turkish ambassador, you know.
is he really?
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah,
didn't know that.
yeah.
But yes,
No.
so I'm going to go with Divergent. You're going with what do you say? Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy. God,
Why
2014.
not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was really good. I mean, we'll do a bit of housekeeping before we end the show. Um,
Oh,
don't
what's
forget,
this?
don't forget to check out the website. It's like I
Yes.
say, it's being built every day. It's looking fantastic now, and also you've probably, if you listen to this, you probably listen to the main show. But we did say it's easy to find now, so just chuck in Unofficial Controller podcast in your search engine, and within the first 2 or 3 searches, you will see our website, unofficialcontrollerpodcast.com. So jump on there, have a look. Hidden gems, bit for everyone on there, our challenges, whatever else is going on. Most of it is all on there, and we're building it as we go. It's looking fantastic. If you want to email us about the show, or if you've got any ideas for a show, or whether you want us to do some special shows, we done one last week. We done top 10 games to play if you're only now getting into the PS2. Email us at the unofficial controller podcast questions at unofficialcontrollerpodcast.com. If you want, even if you want a link to our Discord, come and jump on there. We've got a section for flashback, but it's also good. We've got a couple of new members joined again this week on the Discord. There's always stuff going on there. Absolutely brilliant. Also,
Is that
let us
my army?
your army. And don't forget to let us know Um,
About as popular on this series of podcasts as a mozzie on a nice
mm,
summer's night.
yeah, maybe. Um,
Oh.
also,
I've been
also,
sacked off the main show. I mean, I'm on time here.
you haven't been sacked. You know you haven't. Stop being so dramatic and
It's
attention
part of the
seeking.
storyline for the main show. Don't
I know
ruin it.
that. Yeah, don't. People don't believe that.
They have to. They do.
You're the Arcala. You know that. Um,
Oh my mate,
yeah, you are.
no.
You lead us.
I'm brown owl. Brown eye. No, owl.
Owl. Um, wrong show. Let us know what you thought of our PS2 show last week. Had some good feedback on that. But if you'd like us to keep doing those sort of buying guides and top 10 games for new consoles or retro consoles that you haven't bought yet, let us know. And also, there's quite a few of us going to the Bristol Gaming Market on, as you're listening to this, it's in 2 weeks' time, or less than 2 weeks now, on the 28th of February, Bristol. So if you're going there, come and say hi. It's quite a few of us going from Discord, so should be good to have a meet up. Hopefully, get some retro stuff as well. Just say thanks for all the downloads. Thanks for the nice comments. Thanks for reviews. It all helps us get out there a bit and get seen, and helps us on the algorithms.
Do you know, RGT, I've just had an epiphany, mate.
Oh God, here we go. Trying to be serious, doing a bit of housekeeping at the end. Here we go.
This is a CEO take.
hmm
We're going to end up, if Flashback keeps going, you keep doing these shows the way you're doing them, we're going to end up being able to put an episode Flashback out just by using episode 5 of the UCP original run.
Rinse, repeat. That's good enough for Naughty Dog. It's good enough for us.
That is true. Like in 2014, we're tickling under the chin of OG show era.
Yeah, yeah, we are. Yeah. Imagine that. Just a really bad edit at the start.
Is that the
Well,
cut-off?
welcome to the Unofficial Control
Is that
flashback.
should that be the cut-off for Flashback? Is the first ever episode of the UCP? That's the date where like we can't cover that because you might as well go and listen to that episode
Yeah, when's
because
that?
it's exactly
2019?
the same. Yeah.
2019. Yeah, well, I wouldn't go no later than that. I mean, where we're at with this is about
No. Yeah, 2019 or
yeah,
something. I don't even know. I don't know when this show started, mate.
yeah. I think it's yeah. I'm sure it was 2019, end of 2018, start of 2019. I think. So yeah, that's our cut-off point for this show. But yes, is there anything you want to add to that, George? Or
No, other than that epiphany, which you shouldn't have been afraid of, mate. That was all business, wasn't it?
it was. I apologise. I
I'm
thought
not a
you.
flasher at the Super Bowl, mate. This was all business.
I saw the face and the thinking, and I thought, hmm, we've got a bit of a George story time coming here. But no, it was all good. It was
Look,
all
if you
good.
want that, I guess. Well, you even pulled the reins in on me on the main show. I think you've got to let me go full bore on the main show now, so I can keep it down low for the
That's
for this.
fine, but God help us when you go full bore because it is a sight to behold. It is. It's a trembler for the ears, put it that way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
So
I guess
be
on that
prepared for
note,
that.
you
Yeah. So
you better
anything?
hit
Yeah. Is there anything you want to add to
track.
that? No. Are you all done?
No, I just want to say thank you to everybody. We see you out there. We see this continued growth and love of the separate spin-off show over here on Flashback, and we'll keep making it if you keep coming.
Mm.
So just want to thank everybody for listening and downloading and spreading the magic around. A little personal Georgie, thank you. And also just need to see some more reviews and, all that good stuff, the 5-star rating. I mean, we'd like 5 stars, please.
Please, please, please.
Uh, but rate us what you like. But any sort of interaction there would be really great. And if you want to sort of message into the show, interact, obviously you can quite painlessly, as RGT said, do it on an email. Or you can jump into the Discord where you can interact with us about Flashback, ask us questions, pose your own questions and memories. I see a few people have been doing that via the method of the YouTube comments. Feel free
hmm
to do that as well.
Which has
Yeah,
been good because some of them have led going into Discord from them comments. And I know Discords can be a bit of a scary place. It's very friendly on ours. We've got little challenges we can do. We're doing our Generation
if
7
I thought
playthrough
for a
as well.
moment that our Discord was like clicky or, no, or anything weird, I'd shut it down immediately.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's, what I see there is something that's not any of that stuff, and it's
not at
very
all. Not
welcoming.
at all.
And yeah, so yeah, if it was a swamp for toxicity, yeah, I'd be the first person to wield
Yes,
the
it would be
banhammer.
gone. It's a very
But
friendly,
it's
welcoming
actually the
place.
complete inverse of that. It's the most beautiful place. It's why I don't go there. I don't want to poison it.
Don't
It's
talk wet. On that note, thanks to everyone. Do appreciate you all listening and downloading and spreading the word. Thank you very much.
yes,
Thank you again, George.
thank you. And
It's
thank you
you.
to everybody out there on the Discord and on the listens and on the YouTube. And thank you so, so much.
No, I mean thank you because you really do add something to this show. On a serious note, with your knowledge and the bits from even like today, from the blue label PS3 games
I
to knowing
feel
Housemarque
like
made the game.
flashback to me is a bit like I don't even know if I am who I am anymore. I think I'm probably like a 98-year-old man suffering dementia in a care home, and I've just been wheeled into the conservatory, and this is like a flashback moment. And then I get wheeled in front of the fire, and that's where I do UCP. I don't think any of this is real. So you get what you get. Uh,
Yeah, no, I just think no, thank you because I wouldn't be doing it without you, and you really do add to the show with your
well, I won't be
knowledge and
doing it
bits and
without you and
memories,
and
and
and you and the same.
so just to say thank you. We're 11
So
shows in,
thank you.
and it just gets better every week. So thank you very
Does
much.
it? Oh,
It does,
okay.
yeah.
All right. Wow. Yeah. Good.
Um, which just leaves me to say, flashback, the games you loved, the stories you forgot. See you later, everyone, and see you later, George.
See you, dude.